Ralph Hasenhuttl last night after Southampton surprised many of us and managed to beat Liverpool by a single goal to nil. And as a result of that result, Southampton on 29 points sit there in 6th place this morning on 29 points with Spurs, Man City and Everton. Ralph couldn't help himself and the Austrian tears started to flow. Mr. Jordan, that kind of emotion, I would suggest we don't see enough of it. I like that. Oh, no, don't tell me. You're going the other way.
I'm sorry. My first reaction was, oh, come on. Right?
No, why?
It was, I'm afraid. And a few of my friends texted me and went, have you seen him? I said, well, listen, I admire him. I admire the way that they pulled themselves together. And I was so proud of them insofar as I'm interested in any other team besides Crystal Palace. I was so proud of them when they came back and beat Leicester in the return fixture after getting beat 9-0 last year.
Well, there you go.
I thought that was redemption.
Yeah.
But when I see... a football manager. I saw it the same with Pochettino crying in the semi-final after beating Man City. Okay, God knows what's going to happen when you really do something, when you really win something. But look, emotion is a great part of football. It's the lifeblood of football. Without emotion, football clubs don't exist. And the fans are the energy for emotions. Otherwise, you've just got a very lifeless, vacuous game. But there's a balance. And you open yourself up, because further down the line, that will be used to parody him. It'll be used to ridicule him. It's honesty. That's how he feels.
It's off the moment.
It's how he feels. But I also think if we all run around saying precisely and doing precisely what we feel, then it doesn't always make it right. You have to get some context and balance. Well, I think it opens you up to a degree of ridicule. I think it marginalises.
What? How?
Well, because I think you put yourself in the way of an achievement, which at this moment in time is 1 game out of 38. Right, and whilst it's a benchmark for him, sometimes I think you keep your emotions to yourself. You don't show it to the world. You keep the context. You keep balance. You expect to win games as an elite football manager, which he'll consider himself to be. You define yourself by your achievements, but they are relevant to you. And I think if you show it to the world, I think it's over demonstrative. I think it's a private moment. He can celebrate with his players, but I understand that emotion overcomes you. And emotion gets the better of you.
Did you never have a tear in your eye when Palace won again?
Yeah, every morning when I come in and see you still here.
No, come on, be serious. But, did you never have a tear in your eye at one time when you were the owner of Palace?
No.
When you got promoted?
No, because I think that was a moment that was of huge pride and huge exhilaration, but it wasn't a moment I wanted to burst into tears and show your gurning cameraman at Sky what I was feeling and what I wasn't feeling. There were moments when we nearly got relegated in my first season and I'm sat there in the last game of the season needing to survive with playing away to Stockport and the world's conspiring against you and you go into a goldfish bowl moment where your whole head is
Simon,
sort of enveloped.
You've got conspiracy theories in your mind here.
No, I don't have conspiracy theories.
I mean, to talk about Ralph Hasenhuttl further down the line, it could be used as a parody against it. What?
Well, okay,
let me give you an example. Absolute natural emotion.
I know she was half cut, right? But Delia Smith went on the pitch, right, when Norwich were fighting a relegation battle and called for the fans, let's be having you. Yeah. And that was used as a ridicule forever and a day. And all she was trying to do was galvanise a fan base that she was part of providing a football club.
That was at half-time. That was different.
That was at half-time. Absolutely. But that's been used forever and a day against Delia. That's been used in context.
Different. That had a kind of nonsensical tag to it as well.
I'm not talking about the Gary Cooper type of management, which is the strong, silent type. But I think there was a balance, right? You beat Liverpool. Wonderful. Right? We beat Liverpool when I was at Palace. We beat Liverpool in the Cup semi-final in the first leg. We beat Liverpool in the FA Cup. Yeah. I didn't sit there. They were the team that I watched when I was a kid. I remember Palace coming down.
Yeah, but Liverpool weren't champions. You didn't beat them when they were champions last night.
No, but
they're not this Liverpool.
But that's irrelevant whether it's champions. It is irrelevant. It's irrelevant. It's about...
How on earth can you fault Hasenhuttl for showing raw emotion last night?
You're asking me a question about whether I think it's something that I would like to see or something I admire. No, I don't. I think if it's how he feels and how he wants to conduct himself, that's fine.
But you're out of step with what the fans think.
Well,
fans want to see things like that. They want to see raw emotion.
Well,
of course they do.
I'm not so sure they do. And also, knowing players as I do, right, and irrespective of whether I've been gone for 10 years or not, nothing's really changed. Players are the same, right? The players will be looking at that. Certain sections of players will have that as an opportunity to undermine this manager at some point during his tenure. So you show as little as you can. You keep it as guarded as you possibly can. You express great joy and great celebration about winning a game, and you go on to the next one. Because you know what Ralph Hasenhuttl should be thinking? Hasenhuttl, right, should be able to do is expect his team to have a go at Liverpool and win a game and take each imposter, success and failure, in his stride. There's something about that which is more magnanimous than demonstrative shows of emotion. But there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not my like.
I mean, the likes
like
of Danny Ings and Theo Walcott last night were saying that's what you get with this guy.
Sure.
He's a passionate man on the training ground. He's passionate. He roars at you, etc. And then that last night, that's great. That's not a sign of weakness.
And when the wheels come off, right? And when the wheels come off and the team isn't doing very well, the same players will go, it's because of the emotional expectation of our manager.
But the wheels came off when they lost 9-0. And he was crying for another reason then,
and he didn't cry then, did he?
But
that's what he should have been crying.
The wheels came back on big time last night, and he deserves to demonstrate any emotion that he shows.
He can demonstrate any emotion he wants. Right, the consequences of that emotion at a later stage may come back and haunt him, and if he's comfortable with those consequences, that's his business. Dressing rooms will find the weakest link. A chain, like I said, is as strong as its weakest link, and if they find the emotional outbursts from a manager work at a certain time, you can guarantee those emotional outbursts won't work at another time.
Do you actually think he demonstrated weakness last night?
I think Alex Ferguson winning the FA Cup in 1990 after 4 years of unadulterated pressure at Manchester United, expectation, apparently going to get sacked if Mark Robins hadn't scored that goal against Nottingham Forest, and all the you didn't see him burst into tears when they beat Crystal Palace in the FA Cup final to win his first trophy.
But that's Alex Ferguson. Hasenhuttl last night showed us something we didn't expect, and I think we should embrace it. It was a wonderful moment and cut the guy a bit of slack. It doesn't surely demonstrate an ounce of weakness, Simon.
I didn't say it did.
Come on.
I didn't say it did. I think there's certain things that you can show the world.
But you're saying that certain players could seize on that weakness, could turn it into...
Categorically, whatever is up is down inside a football dressing room at times, because they will take it as an opportunity to be able to find a way to drive a gap between something they're not getting and something you're not giving them, right? Because that's what happens at football clubs. There's always an excuse culture. Now, is it nice for the bleeding hearts of the world to unite and say Ralph Hasenhuttl was sat there in tears because his team beat an underperforming Liverpool right now? Fine, go ahead. Get him a sponsorship of Kleenex.
Oh, come on. Surely not. I mean, honestly, is there anybody out there who's gone down the Jordan line with this one, that Hasenhuttl in some way was wrong to show emotion like that last night? Because the players will season it further down the line.
Bigger than that, well done, Southampton. Well done, their performance.
But
I have been absolutely waxing lyrical about Southampton for 90% of this season.
Yeah.
I admire him for pulling it around after getting beat 9-0 by Leicester. I admire Southampton for a football club that constantly is able to recreate itself, even though it constantly loses its best players, and they're doing really well.
I agree.
So all that to one side, Southampton tremendous.
Can you honestly, truthfully say to me that in your time at Palace, you never had a tear in your eye because of what was achieved on the pitch? Can you honestly, truthfully say you never shed a tear?
I had tears when I signed Adi Akinbaye, yeah. I had tears when I signed certain players who were absolutely useless.
You're at it now. I don't believe you. Surely it's what we want to see more of in the game. Hasenhuttl showing raw emotion last night when they won last night.
What's that say from Murphy? Spot on, mate.
What, Murphy's texted you?
Yeah,
we'll be giving him a call during the break. Don't worry about that.